Shout out to Cats Pawd.
1 second. A good defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Malone is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod. What's up, Podcats? Here we are. Special edition today. We promised you guys that we were going to have something special. Actually, we didn't want to promise because we didn't want to jinx the thing. But we have a very special guest on with us. You know, as always, me and Eric with you. But we have one of the cores of the defensive line, Zack Black, coming on. How you doing, Zack?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, we appreciate having you here.
Absolutely. Before we get into anything, I was told that have to give a shout out to Zach's brother Max and Bryce Hasso.
Shout out to Max and shout out to Hafso, I guess then.
Yeah. They're the reason we're all here today, right? You know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I gotta ask you a question, Zach. Before we get into football, are you an Apple Music or a Spotify guy?
I'm an Apple Music guy.
Oh, come on, dude.
Let's go.
No. It's 2-on-1 right now. I can't handle these odds.
If you got an iPhone, why not have Apple Music?
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
This makes sense.
The playlists are
done
just
your
so much
replay
worse.
yet?
I can't do it.
I have not done the replay yet. I gotta figure my replay out, but I'm not gonna expect anything too crazy from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if you had to pick your top 5, what do you think your top 5 is?
Like from the replay?
Yeah. What do you think?
If you had to guess.
Drake will be on there.
Ooh.
Gunna will be on there.
Okay.
Three through 5 is kind of a toss up, honestly. I'm not sure.
You know. Yeah.
I don't know who 3 through 5 will be, but I know Drake and Gunna are both locks.
Oh yeah. I was surprised by mine, and I was even more surprised by Eric. So you know.
Yeah, dude, mine's wild.
A lot of variety going on, or what?
Yeah, it goes. Number 1, Zach Bryan. Number 2, Kid Cudi. Number 3, Treaty Oak Revival. Number 4, Kip Moore, and number 5, Wizard.
There we go.
There it is. You know, I wasn't expecting it, but it's all that everything is about these last couple days, you know.
Yeah.
My top artist was Frank Ocean, and I didn't know I was being that kind of sad boy this year.
Whoa.
You know? I was like,
is everything okay?
I hope so, but I didn't realize I was listening to that much Frank Ocean, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, Kendrick's always on there for me because, like, it's becoming an old head thing to like Kendrick, but still, like, he was the dude when I was in high school, and he's still the dude today. So he was definitely up there on the top as usual.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
K-Dot had a year, man.
Oh, yeah, he definitely did. He made everything happen this year.
So, big week.
Huge.
Exciting week.
Huge week.
How's prep going? Pretty good?
Prep's great. You know, it's always great to lock up a bye week and, you know, have that extra week to prepare and, you know, get a little bit of time off, get off our feet a little bit. But huge week in terms of preparation. You know, just like Coach Viggs has been saying since January. You know, just got to go 1-0 every week, every day. And I think that we've been doing a really good job this week of, you know, living that and stacking days. So it's been a good week of prep, and I think the boys are ready to get rolling for sure. I'm speaking for myself, and I think them. So
I think you would have the best insight to how everybody's feeling about this game coming up this weekend. So that's fine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're firing. We're getting ready to roll. So should be a good day on Saturday.
Awesome.
How much does playing at home mean as far as like how good is the home field advantage for the Bobcats?
Honest, it's something, you know, because absolutely no disrespect to any of these other FCS conferences, but like the Montana teams and the Big Sky just kind of do it different. And, you know, not a lot of people it's sure they get these like they get the you know money games at the start of the year where they're seeing you know 60,000-70,000 people or whatever it may be, but they're not playing in front of that every single week.
Mhm.
So,
Right.
the last 8 to 10 weeks of the season, you've been playing in front of 4,500 people, 10,000 people, whatever it may be. And, once again, that's no disrespect to any of these other teams or their fan bases or anything, but coming up here and, you got 20,000 rocking and it's cold. It's a game changer for sure. Even if you're coming from a area where, you got to deal with some cold weather and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
The fans make a huge impact on the game, and it's
Oh, yeah.
it's sweet to see every week.
That's awesome to
Yeah.
hear too, because we've talked about it before with those huge crowds you'll see at those big Power 5 schools. You might have like 1/3 of that crowd that's really going hard, but you go to a Montana State game, you go to a U of M game, like every single person in the crowd is yelling like their life absolutely depends on it. That's how much these football games mean to
And
them. So it's a little
If
different.
it's a game, they're in it the whole time. Like our fans are the best in the country. Like second to none, best in the country.
I remember at Gold Rush, I was just kind of blown away because it's a complete blowout, and the second half starts, and the noise level did not go down whatsoever. I was like, what is going on right now? Everyone is still losing their mind.
It's sweet. You definitely have to, for me at least, I try to take a minute every home game and appreciate it for sure, because it's cool to be part of something as special as what we got going on right now. And
Oh yeah,
it's we got a good thing going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good statement. I mean, everybody kind of thought that the Cats were going to have a good season, but I think that what has happened to this point has kind of exceeded expectations to a certain extent. I mean, speaking from on your side, on the defensive side, this is probably the best Cat defense I have ever seen. And that includes a lot of different coaching staffs and a lot of different head coaches. I can't think of one that even comes close to how locked down you guys are.
It's sweet, and it starts from the top down. But I mean, our captains, Brody, Orton, Danny, they withhold the culture that has been built, years and years before them, like you guys are saying, through these different staffs. But you look back on years past, and like dudes like Ty, dudes like Troy, Lewis Kidd, Daniel Hardy, like these dudes built the standard that we have now. And then it's just the job of the older guys as you grow up to maintain that standard and the culture that we have, because honestly, like our defensive culture it's been great the whole time I've been here, but it's definitely upped another level. And I really think it's credit to those three senior leaders, but honestly, all the dudes on the defense buying in and day out, since January last year. And
yeah,
like I said, Coach V's with the whole 1-0 thing, like everybody's so bought into that. I think that's really the way we live, especially on defense for sure.
Yeah, and that's also been really cool for us to see, because it's a lot of times you'll hear those platitudes and stuff of like, oh, we're going to go 1-0 every week. And like I coached for a long time, and I always tried to instill that kind of stuff. But it seems like Vegan has just gotten you guys to buy in so much, and it has completely changed the way the defense and offense look. Like just the whole team as a collective looks a whole lot different because of it. It also feels like in the past we had defenses where there was like a couple really great dudes, but this is like front to back, 1 to 11, and the guys coming in to give people a breather. It's everybody is super talented,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're deep, and we've had some tough injuries. Like it sucks to see Danny go down the way he went down against Idaho, but like, we've had dudes step up. We've had Neil step up crazy. We've had Bryce step up crazy. Like our depth is really, the coaches have a saying, our depth drives us,
Okay.
It sucks. Injuries are part of the game. Like that's going to happen, but next man up, we got to keep going. And we're also, like I said, we're all bought into that, and we're all just trying to get better each day. And like I said, credit to the coaches and the culture that's been being built and that we're kind of getting to experience right now, because what we got right now has definitely been a long time coming for sure.
Oh yeah. It does feel like the build-up has been forever. What's
Yeah,
up, Eric?
it's
Sorry.
it's yeah, it's what's really cool, like you brought up those injuries. You know, Blake Schmidt goes down, Danny Yu goes down, and a lot of people really thought that would impact the team. And like you said, it really sucks losing those guys. But boy, the guys, including yourself, that stepped up to fill in, in these spots, it's awfully impressive to see that there's so many guys that are just ready to go. Not a lot of teams have that.
Well, I mean, people are right. Like it did impact us, and it impacted us by bringing us closer together. Like we had not just dudes on defense go down, but senior dudes who were,
Yeah.
As unfortunate as it is, that's their last go, at least for us. Like they can't come back. So, like we're doing this for them now. And like dudes like Caden Dowler who went down, like, we're playing for each other. And I think that drives us, whether we're thinking about it or not, like it sucks seeing Danny out, seeing Blake out, because, those are my guys. So it definitely, it's in the back of your mind. Like, I don't want to let that guy down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben and I have always talked about the cat culture and just, kind of how close the whole team seems. Like everybody seems super close. If you see an Instagram post from a player, it's been shared on everyone else's story a bunch of times. And it just seems like you guys are all like tight, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I'm probably not the best person to speak on it, but like the transfers that come in really is the best example. Like they always come in and say, like, even if they were leaving, a good situation where they had a good culture with the team and stuff like that, they're like, man, this is crazy how close you guys are.
Oh yeah.
We break on family every day, and I think, like the 1-0 thing, we actually try to live that. Not everybody's going to be best friends with everybody, but we all do stuff together as like whether it's a unit or position groups, whatever it may be, and we spend a lot of time together, just as it is with football and stuff like that, and we're all just we're able to bond over whatever it may be. So we're as tight knit as they come over here for sure. It's cool to be a part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
What are your meetings like when you go into those? Is it just the D-line group in there? Is it pretty loose? Is it pretty structured? What is it like?
Nah, I mean, we have a good time for sure. Yeah. But Coach Bapp and Coach Howe, they do a good job of, making sure our meetings are productive, and we keep our full unit together. So we've got the D tackles and the defensive ends together, and special podcast feature, Alec Eckert.
Oh, okay, the Hulk, Alec Eckert.
Alec Eckert on the cast pod.
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
You can't plan it any better than this, can you?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
No, absolutely not.
Alec, when I saw that you had the Hulk on the back of your Instagram banner, I was like, or on your Twitter banner, I was this dude belongs at Montana State right now. We need some of that superhero energy on the D line for sure.
Hell yeah. And we got some of it for sure. Yeah. And we got some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is Montana State everything you thought it'd be coming from Washington?
Oh yeah, everything and more. Yeah, I couldn't be happier to be here.
Awesome. What would you say? Like togetherness, like closeness compared to Wazoo? Like how tight y'all are?
Well, I mean, I definitely had a tight. I had my own tight group at WSU, but I would say it was kind of like more cliques. I don't know if that's the right word, but like the whole team here, like there's no egos, there's no this, that. Everyone's about Bobcats, and we're gonna win games, and whatever it takes to do that. So
awesome.
Hell yeah. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah. I just said I said I think we're all close, but you gotta ask it. I got this transferred in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You guys.
See you, man. Yeah, that's awesome. There's the first-hand info everybody wants right there. How close it actually is. That's really good to hear.
Oh yeah.
As a fan, for sure.
No, man, we love each other. We love each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So going into this UT Martin game, do your plans change at all from like your normal practices? Is it like more intense or do you guys just kind of practice the same for every game and treat it like a playoff game?
I mean, I'd say the approach is the same to every game every week, but the week just looks a little different, obviously because of the bye week. So we're able to, get some good work in this week and get nice and prepared for them. But the approach doesn't change. Obviously we all understand what's on the line. It's win or go home. But we just approach the game the same, and hopefully we'll get the same results that we've been having all year with that same approach. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Do kind of along those same lines, is there one specific player on UT Martin that's like, kind of like the Scott Dre Humphrey or the Ty McCullough of the Bobcats? Like one guy who's just like, gotta watch out for this dude.
They're a really talented team. Honestly, I forget the name of that conference. I think it's Ohio Valley, but they've done some good things in the Ohio Valley, and they had a lot of dudes make all conference lists and stuff like that. Their running backs legit, their quarterbacks legit. They do some good stuff down there. It's gonna be they're a legit opponent. So we're taking them as serious can be, and just getting ready for them. But I'd say probably the most jump off the screen guy, at least from what I've seen, is going to be their running back. But I'm not watching as many deep route pass concepts and stuff as much as some of the DBs. So I haven't seen as many big plays in that way. But their running back's a dude.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he ain't no match for Zack Black.
No. Are you going to stuff him right up at the line? Is that what's going to happen in this situation?
Behind the line.
Behind the line.
Do my job.
Okay.
Do my job.
I was trying to be humble for him by saying at the line, not behind the line,
Do my job and make the plays that are there for me to make.
It's awesome to hear. It's like everything you've been saying just confirms what we have been thinking about the Cats all year, and it's awesome to hear it from somebody who's in those locker rooms, in those meetings and everything, that we're not completely wrong about all of this cat culture stuff. And then also the way you guys approach games is amazing, because there was a lot of teams that could have been taken lightly throughout the season. But I feel like you guys make a point of not taking anybody lightly, always having respect for your opponent, and going into every game like we need to beat them. They're not going to give it to us,
No, exactly. I mean, whether you're playing New Mexico on the road or Montana at home, each one counts the same. Each one means the same when you're looking at win-losses, and, you're working towards that end goal at the end of the conference season, which is obviously that conference championship trophy. And there's no sense in looking forward to what could be or what might be if we do this and this, because I personally think in the past that might have been an issue that some guys had, that we had is a little bit, is looking too far forward, kind of at the what ifs.
Oh yeah.
And, I think that shift is like we've been kind of seeing, that shift has been huge this year. Just, approaching every week like it's the biggest, like it's the Super Bowl. Yeah. And I think that's, proven to be successful for us.
Is that a big difference from last year, or is that just more it's been building up for the last few years?
It's kind of really tough for me to speak on last year, just because I was obviously out with the knee. So, I mean, I was a part of it, but, I feel like we approach things the same from kind of an outside looking in perspective as well. But
it's tough to say.
This year, if there were some differences, I'd say this year we're more about it. If there was some of it that was just talk last year, it's action this year.
That's awesome.
If there is some difference.
Yeah.
So you briefly brought up the New Mexico game there for a second. So New Mexico, was supposed to be this absolutely god-awful team, right? Who actually has gone on to win some fairly substantial games, and they're sitting at 5-7, kind of like halfway in the middle of that entire conference. They're actually a pretty good team, and you guys beat them. That's pretty impressive at this point. That win has aged very, very well.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
What's it like playing an FBS team?
It's sweet, honestly, because it's a whole different. It's not a whole different experience, because at the end of the day, it's just football. But you know that you're an underdog regardless of which way you try to spin it, just purely looking at it, FBS versus FCS, you're supposed to be the underdog. So I think everybody kind of elevates to that. And
Yeah.
the chip on your shoulder that everybody's got just gets a little bit bigger, and you go a little bit harder. I think everybody, when they're doubted, tend to go a little bit harder. And I think that was something that we proved this year. And same, like at Oregon State, the score didn't really reflect as good of a game we played a couple of years ago. Like, we did a lot of things really well. Like, we built a lot off of that game. And, you know, the score wasn't close, but it wasn't just us getting throttled the whole game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely was not. Yeah.
The, you know, in this New Mexico game, their quarterback has been getting a lot of pretty rave reviews. He's pretty darn good. You kind of faced him first off. He is good, right? Like, legitimately good.
Dan Peer is legitimately good. Like, one of our guys, Dom Solano, played against him in high school and was like, the whole week, you know, or I guess 4 weeks of camp leading up to it, it's like, hey, we're gonna see a dude. There wasn't a whole lot of film on him previous to this year, but we knew that we were gonna see a guy, and he balled out that game.
Yeah.
He did have a good game for sure.
And I mean, just purely athleticism wise, that breakaway speed he had on that little whatever
little fake handoff,
fake end around, or whatever that's called. But the kid's a weapon, and I mean that, like you guys said, that New Mexico win is aged pretty well.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good for us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good. I mean, that program from last year to the start of this year, because they kind of cranked up after the Montana State game. They cranked off some wins. They upset a top 25 team. Like, I mean, what the point I'm trying to make is the defense only gave up 17 points in that game. I was there and definitely had a couple brewskis, but I think it was only like 17 points. I mean, you guys the defense went up against an FBS school, only gave up 17 points. That is extremely impressive. And then they went on to shut out almost every team in the first half until Eastern Washington or something like that. I mean, it's a run for you guys, a run.
Yeah, we're playing pretty good football, man. We're firing on all cylinders, and I mean, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think our approach, and I think the love we have for each other as a team, top to bottom, is really what kind of is driving this, regardless of, you know, the obvious talent we have on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you got a lot of good football players who love each other, you know you're going to do good things. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We had the signing day was today.
Yeah.
And there's a couple kids from your neck of the woods that committed.
Yeah, we got a guy from my high school coming up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, did you know either one of those guys? There's a guy from your hometown and a guy from your old high school. Did you know him?
I think that, like, vaguely, you know, had heard the name or something like that, but Nick Maloff is he's part of a O-line, D-line, like 7-on-7 sort of deal that my old high school D-line coach runs. So I've met him a couple times and, you know, not done any sort of serious work with him, but, you know, we've met and introduced each other, and I put a little bit into his ear about, you know, coming up here and stuff like that. So
yeah.
It seems
like
like
we can get another guy from the hometown.
It seems like there's quite a bit of talent from your hometown there and from that high school. Is that kind of a powerhouse in Idaho? We obviously don't know a lot about high school football in Idaho. Is that one of the major ones?
I lost one game in high school football.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was pretty damn good. We
got a good thing going down there.
Yeah.
I don't know what's been going on since, you know, my time's been done there, but the whole time I was there, we were building something special, and, you know, we're still making the playoffs as far as I know every year. But yeah, we got a good thing going down at Rocky Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how did you end up at Montana State?
It's cool. So I was getting the start. Most of my recruiting was super screwed up because of COVID. Like my junior year was cut short, or my junior school year was cut short because of COVID, and then just like senior recruiting and junior trips and stuff like that, camp circuits, was all kind of up in the air, and all my recruiting was, all virtual and stuff like that. So me and my dad ended up hopping in the car, and we hit all the schools that had offered me at that point, which was, Idaho State, Idaho, we stopped at Washington State for some reason. And then we didn't drive to South Dakota, but we stopped at Montana and then Northern Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah. And
that's
so
quite a road trip.
Just, hit the schools, checked them out real quick, just because I hadn't really gotten the opportunity to see any of these places. So just being semi-familiar with them, and then it came up to Bozeman and just watched a practice from afar in the car under the choate days and stuff like that, and it just felt right being here. I don't know, I don't know how to explain it. It was just like I kind of love it first sight.
Yeah, just when you know, it was the right spot to be in.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And did your brother have anything to do with the Montana thing since he went to Western?
No, he didn't, man. Max was hands off in my recruiting. He wanted me to make a good decision and go somewhere where I was gonna be happy and develop into a better man and football player, and I picked the right spot. So it all worked out. But I'm sure he's a little happy that I came up here because of his ties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My wife's cousin is Bryce Halfso. So I didn't get to go to Bryce's wedding in Mexico, but my wife did, and she said Max is quite the character. He's pretty fun to hang out with.
Yeah, my brother's a good time, man. I haven't gotten to experience too much of that, but he's been big bro my whole life. Yeah. But he's good people, great people.
When you go to Western, if you're one of the dogs, I'd have a good time. Like I was there as well. I spent 5 years in Western, and the dogs know how to have a good time, if nothing else.
There we go.
Sometimes the football team would be like 2-7, but everybody was having a good time.
Oh man. Oh, that's good stuff.
It was it was a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was your hometown
a little different culture?
Yeah,
a little different culture for us.
Yeah, it's only a lot more serious, I'm guessing.
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah. He's probably going to give you a hard time for that too, for saying it wasn't that serious where he was at.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So I was curious. So I know. So you got hurt last year. Walk us through that whole thing. When did it happen? What happened? And how long was the recovery?
It happened during halftime stretch at South Dakota State.
Oh wow, that is the worst. That is the absolute worst.
The brunt of the injury had happened at some point during fall camp, and just dealt with it, let it go, rehabbed it and all that, and then we were doing a frog stretch, pulled my knee a little too hard up, and had a complex lateral root meniscus tear. So
that
got
sounds
that guy
painful.
fixed.
I don't know.
Got that guy fixed, and then it was 8-month recovery. Got surgery in September 14th or something like that of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then just PT like crazy with Brian Langford. Real shout out to Brian Langford. Thank you for getting me back on the field. My guy got the knee right, but long road. Good to be back out here, and it definitely was good for perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say probably
for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and then get back healthy for this year. It makes it even just a little more special.
Definitely. And I mean, it was tough, seeing that season kind of unfold and the way it did, and not being able to really impact that at all. But I feel like I was able to grow as just a teammate, as a person, regardless of my ability to contribute on the field as a player.
Yeah.
So I mean, there were a lot of good things that came from that injury, but it was super tough missing a year. Obviously, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see if I take that one and come back down the road. But tough situation, but it's all working out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Working out.
It's
really
all
well.
good now. Feeling good, playing good, like.
Feeling great.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely glad to see that you're back on the field, and I'm guessing staying pretty darn healthy. You look healthy.
Feel great.
Mhm.
I mean, we're 20 weeks into the season right now, or whatever it is. We've been going since July 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, long season, and I feel great, ready to keep rolling and keep winning games in Bobcat Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. That's kind of what we're hoping for too. We're hoping for a few more home games.
Oh yeah.
And maybe a little bit of revenge against a certain team that blocked an extra point wouldn't hurt anything, in my opinion.
No,
but
wouldn't hurt anything. I'm sure that's one of the things on the list you guys still got to check off.
We gotta win the next one. The next one's the most important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh sorry.
There's a lot of
Sorry.
people
Yeah.
I'm sure we would like to see on the way back.
It's tough from a fan's perspective to be 1-0 all the time. You guys are locked in 1-0, but we're always thinking about the future and stuff. We're not supposed to. I need a personal pep talk from Brent Vegan if you could hook that up. If he could just let me know, just like
He'll get you fired up.
you got to tell this guy it's 1-0. Stop thinking about the future. Stop thinking about the playoffs like the rest of the way. It's just this Saturday. That's it.
I mean, it creeps.
Oh yeah,
but
it has
it's,
to.
1-0.
Yeah.
Repeat it to yourself. Write it on the board. Do whatever you need to do. But
I mean,
1-0
we even like almost baited you into that, trying to talk about the future, and you were like right away. It is so ingrained right now. You didn't even budge for a
UT
second.
Martin is the biggest game of the year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's factual.
Yeah,
Hey, that is true.
So,
Yeah. So since here's a question that doesn't look forward to any games, but just to the past.
Yeah.
How long after you got to Bozeman did you realize how intense the Cat Grizz rivalry was?
I got a taste of it my redshirt year.
Okay.
And I kind of began to really understand what it was at that point. But from a player's perspective, I don't think you can understand that rivalry until you play in it.
Oh,
Or better yet, until you win it.
okay.
Yeah.
But it's real. Like that rivalry is, I think it's the best rivalry in college football. I might be a bit biased, but it's a real deal rivalry. Yeah. And I mean, you feel it. Like, you feel it in the stadium. You feel it in the way the game plays out. Like, I stay off social media, but I'm sure social media is nuts the week before Cat Grizz. Like,
oh yeah,
it's legit. So I mean, I think I got a taste my redshirt year, but really kind of understood.
Every time we run into a player, we make sure that they know that they don't have to worry about social media, because that's what they have us for. Okay, we'll worry about the social media. We'll be on there. We got everybody's back, But if push comes to shove, you don't have to worry about it. We'll handle the light work. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
We got the Cat Pawd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ben and I get into some pretty good arguments on those on whatever forum it might be.
Any forum, equal opportunity. Yeah.
We love it. We love it. No, we won't say it, but we love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. we're definitely professional trolls, especially when it comes to Grizzly fans because they're so damn arrogant.
They also make it pretty easy, so it's really not that
Yes.
hard.
They really do. Yeah.
Them Grizzlies.
Yeah, them
Yeah.
Grizz.
This game had to have felt pretty good. I mean, you guys handled them. I mean, I never felt we were at the game. There was never a worry in my mind. I mean, it was just like you guys on the defense had them so contained, and the offense just kind of ran the ball at will. It seemed like it went according to game plan.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, Montana's run game is really good. They've got they run the ball well, and I mean, we did a good job of we really did a good job with preparation that week. They were really good at kind of hitting the ball off the table on a lot of their kind of inside zone looks. And I think that, all the credit in the world to the secondary and the backers and stuff for getting all that stuff fitted up off the edges and off the table and stuff like that. We handled the run really well, I feel like, against the Grizz. And
yeah,
it all once again just comes down to preparation and the time put in and film watched and all that. We wouldn't be as successful as we are without the preparation.
Yeah.
But I mean, speaking on the defense specifically, Logan Fife is a quarterback that has absolutely lit teams up. I mean, he had 400 and some passing yards against Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Portland State, he lit them up pretty hard. Yet he found very little success against the Bobcats, and like you said, the run game was pretty much stymied. I mean, it was just such a complete team effort in that game that I think that's kind of what showed especially all the critics, kind of what the Bobcats were when you just shut them down completely.
Yeah, I mean, and once again, it comes back to that rivalry, that taste that was, left in our mouth from last year, and walking past that empty trophy case every day. Like, it's not just for talk and for media. Like, it's something you feel. Like, it's like a pit in your stomach. Like, that big ass trophy belongs right here, and it's not here right now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but we're gonna go get that thing back. And I think it was really, really in everybody's minds. And once again, all the credit to the leadership of the team, and Brode or Danny, Paul, Khabib, all those guys, really, really sticking with to get that trophy back. And it'll always be FTG, but
So
and
now that baby's at home now.
It's at home now.
It's at home and it looks good.
So
it's at home and it looks great, and it ain't leaving anytime soon.
Talking about the trophy, was everybody just way too excited to grab that thing? Is that why it hit the ground? It was kind of hard to tell, Or were you doing the whole run around and find somebody to hug thing?
No, I was making sure me and the boys didn't get mixed up in anything on the way to the trophy.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch it hit the ground.
Oh yeah.
But I just thought it was already on the turf for some reason. I just saw Paul and Cole saying all those guys picking it up. But seeing the video, I'm not really sure how that all went down. But
that execution was not covered in practice. Should have gone over that.
Funny deal.
You got to prepare for everything.
I don't know. I don't know if the hail sleet storm had anything to do with it, and the turf was all slippery or something like that. But we had a deal.
I'm sure it was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a funny deal.
It was pretty funny. Yeah.
So, can you assure our listeners that ugly sticker on the bottom of the trophy is gone?
I can't assure them of that. I
Yeah.
can assure them.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to hear.
It was probably the first thing gone.
We got that figured out.
Yeah, for sure.
So you brought up that hail sleet storm. Which one was crazier, the windstorm in New Mexico or the hail sleet storm during Cat Grizz?
New Mexico. like if you just looked out past Sunny Holland, like you could tell that something was coming. It was just what it was gonna be. But that windstorm kicked up out of nowhere, man. Like it was.
Yeah.
And my brother was up in the stands. He said there was stuff like falling off of like the press boxes. Like that was nuts. But
I got my hat
crazy.
blown off, and it went like 2 sections over. Some lady who had my hat she was holding it up in the air, and I had to run all the way. Luckily, it was on the way to the beer garden, so I was able to, 2 for 1 that one.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
while I'm over here, might as well.
Yeah,
might as well.
Might as well grab my hat.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta go get my hat, guys. Gotta go get my hat.
Yeah.
Just the hat. Just the hat.
Just a hat.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. So what was more exciting? The end of Cat Grizz this year or that final play at UC Davis?
Probably. I don't know, man. That's tough.
It is
Cat
tough.
Grizz is Cat
You know?
Grizz. Cat Grizz is Cat Grizz.
I mean, I'm coming through with the hard balls, okay? You know.
I guess McCade's pick was big time.
Oh yeah.
But Cat Grizz are gonna take it. every
Yeah,
time.
it's always got to be Cat Grizz.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Big
makes
time
sense.
play, like huge play.
Oh yeah.
But nothing will take the cake like Cat Grizz.
Oh yeah. It's so exciting every time, even as a fan, when we get to win Cat Grizz, that it means a ton. But just the end of that UC Davis game was so crazy. Watching that interception and just the way that game was going and everything that was staked on that 2-point conversion, and just to get that pick out, it was also electric. It was an awesome moment.
Absolutely. We've had a lot of good moments this year, but none of the moments will ever live up to any of the moments in Cat Grizz.
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can actually answer this question, but going back to that UC Davis onside kick, do you think if that kicker had 100 chances in a row to kick exactly that kind of kick, he could do it again? Because I don't.
I don't know, man. I don't know how much kickers work on their onside game. But
What else do they have to work on, Zach? Come on. We're not trying to deride them. We appreciate the kicker, but they got
I feel
like 2
like,
things to work on, okay?
I feel like that's kind of like a hole in one.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like it's like a hole in one. You know, great play, but I feel like replicating a perfect onside kick isn't something you can really do.
Yeah, there's a reason that they're successful 3% of the time. You know?
Yeah. I don't know how many beefs I got in with on message boards because all I was saying was that has to be a fluke because it doesn't ever happen. And he tried it again. He did try it again, and it didn't even go 10 yards. So it's like he got lucky.
Yeah.
That's what that was. That was such a fluke.
Call it luck, call it skill, but I mean, good on him. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, good on him. Good play.
Yeah.
One of those ones where you just gotta, good football team against good football team, and one good football team happened to make a play, but we made the ones that mattered in the end. So
Yeah.
I don't think he could. I don't know if replication of a perfect onside kick is a thing, but I don't know.
Zach, do you have a pregame routine?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. Like when I get to the stadium after the prowl, if it's a home game or if it's an away game, right when we get there, I'll like put my contacts in. Get just kind of like put like the pregame warm up shirt, get the pants on and stuff like that, and then I go out to the field and I don't do anything crazy, but I just do like a little lap around our 50 yards and then stretch a little bit in the end zone and try to get my hands hot on the little pad on the goalpost, and then I just go back inside.
Yeah.
Listen to music. I got a text from 4 years ago that my mom sent me that is in my notes on my phone that I look at before every game. So that's become a part of it. Nothing crazy, no crazy pregame rituals or anything like that, but same thing every time.
Yeah.
What's on the ramp up music?
The playlist is getting pretty deep at this point, but a lot of Detroit rap, a lot of Chicago rap, there's a little bit of AC/DC Thunderstruck in there.
Okay.
I don't know.
Trying to
some
get
of
the heart
classics
rate
that
up.
my pop put me on, but the pregame playlist is deep by year 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you there. Yeah. No, it's this has been a pretty darn exciting season, man. I'm so proud of what you guys have put together as a fan. Like it's pretty fun to be able to sit back and, kind of be not favorite, but kind of, as a fan, that's a pretty special feeling because it's been a long time coming. And yeah, I don't know. We're all pretty freaking stoked for these playoffs.
Yeah.
The excitement is definitely it's the same within the locker room. Just it's probably just a bit more focused excitement.
Yeah.
I'd say. We all appreciate what we've done through these 12 weeks, but go out and lose and none of it matters.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, that's very true.
It's
cool. Got to take a moment and be appreciative for sure because you're whether we like it or not, and whether something goes wrong or not, we're part of history here, and me and these boys will always be able to come back and be a part of that first 12-0 team in history, and get that big sky ring and all that. But none of that's as cool. None of that's as cool as winning that natty at the end of the year. So.
Oh yeah,
got to get that jewelry.
Yeah. I know we really appreciate everything you guys have done just based on what we need, just as this podcast, the fact that people want to listen to this is just because you guys are winning football games. We do not have any ideas that we are the most entertaining people in the world, but people want to tune in because they want to hear about the Cats right now. So we really appreciate it,
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool that there's media about what I'm doing, what me and my boys are doing. Not everybody gets that opportunity. So I mean, I appreciate the hell out of it for sure.
Eric, did you hear that? He just called us media. I don't know if I can agree with that. I don't know if we're media. It's official now. I need to go talk to the press people at Montana State. I need my press pass for the next for all the playoff games. I'm getting in for free. I'm officially a member of the media. Here we go. That's it. I'm in. I've made it. Look, Ma, I made it.
There we go, man. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any other questions? Still got some? Yeah.
Who has the best celebration after a sack?
Brody Greavy's 10-minute celebration. Golly.
Oh, it does. It is fitting.
You gotta love Paul with the. But there's nothing better than that old Greavy celebration.
Yeah.
There's a gladiator flair to the Paul Brott celebration that I love.
I don't know what he's got going.
Yeah.
I love the kid. And sometimes I can't even. He's just excited. He's just happy to be out there.
Just all
which I love.
I'm just glad you guys let me play out here.
He just loves ball, man. Paul Brott just loves him some football. So
that's awesome.
Just having a good time with his buddies.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. No, I think that's all I had for you, Zach. You got anything else you want to say before we jump off of here?
Nah, man, I ain't got anything, but appreciate you guys for having me on, and go Cats as always, and shout out to the Cats Pawd.
Yeah. Do you got any big brand deals that you gotta pump out? Nothing.
Nah,
we got to get Zack Black some NIL money. That's our next thing. Get Zack Black some NIL money. That's the next thing that the Cats Pod is going to be on. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm interested in any and all businesses. Please feel free to contact me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. Thanks everybody for listening. Go ahead and rate this 5 stars wherever you're listening to this at. Catch us on X or Instagram at CatsPod. Check us out on YouTube at The CatsPod. And we will see you guys this weekend after the UT Martin game, which we're pretty sure is going to be pretty beautiful. But we're staying 1-0. That's all we're focused on.
1-0.
1-0.
Absolutely. Adios.